You're watching Camnet TV, not just another channel. Welcome to our news. The headlines. Livingstone Central MP Matthews Jerry placed on defense for corruption charges. Lusaka City Council sundered by 576 BIDs recorded in 3 weeks. Government urged to increase budgetary allocation towards agriculture in the 2021 budget. And international news, Steve Bowman, former Trump advisor, arrested for fraud. And in sports news, FAS begins under 15 talent search. For the details, do join me shortly after this break.
Msika is here. We have you all covered with just 150 kwacha. You can advertise every day from 17 hours to 18 hours. For a 30-second ad, get the benefit of selling your products and services on Msika. For more details, call our marketing department on +260 953 995099 +260 962 444-726 or +260 971 177 467. Email us on info@camnettvafrica.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello, Camnet TV viewers. I'm your pastor, Pastor Moses Chuluba. On the 24th of August 2020, I'll be hosting the UPND President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, on national matters at 2030. Please make a date with me. Contributions will be by Skype and Zoom. You can also text. We hope to see you there. God richly bless you. May God bless Zambia.
Are you a filmmaker? Well, you are exactly what we are looking for.
Camnet TV is calling on local filmmakers. For more details,
You can visit our headquarters in Ibex Hill, next to Hilltop Hospital.
contact us on 0972 277467 or
0962 444 726. Camnet TV.
not just another channel.
With the details, my name is Liseli Kanyanga Mubanga. The Lusaka City Council appointed Administrator Nixon Nkwepu has challenged the local authority to be transparent when issuing land or changing land use. Speaking at a full council meeting Friday, Mr. Nkwepu explains that transparency is key to ensuring that law and order is observed on land matters. Mr. Nkwepu also indicated that the authority will not relent in checking for compliancy levels of COVID-19 health guidelines, adding that the law on this will be enforced within its mandate. The administrator has since urged the council to up their game in monitoring high-risk areas such as bars and nightclubs. The council administrator will foresee the happening of the council administratively for 3 months while investigations are underway over the alleged illegal land dealing by the councillors and the mayor. We have more in this report.
Friday, 21st of August 2020, a full council meeting was held by the Lusaka City Council, a meeting which can be described as special owing to the fact that the administrator represented the suspended councillors and the mayor. LCC, through its appointed administrator, Nixon Nkwepu, says the council will continue to enforce regulations of COVID-19 with their mandate despite the civic leaders being on suspension. The bars and nightclubs, which fall under the council, have been closed since the early cases of COVID-19 were recorded in March because they had been deemed as high-risk areas of COVID-19 spread. In the full council meeting, the authority has been urged to effectively monitor the facility that are selling alcohol on takeaway basis. He, however, said that the liquor licenses will not be halted, adding that liquor selling is not prohibited, but sitting and drinking in bars is prohibited for now.
If people are reluctant, are difficult to control, to wear masks when they are sober, what more when they are under the influence of alcohol? And therefore, we put strict measures to make sure that we don't allow gatherings, especially those under the influence of alcohol. And that's the more reason nightclubs, bars remain closed. Those that are operating in wholesale outlets, those that are operating in bottle store, those that are operating in restaurants, we will allow them under strict guidance, under strict observance of the health guidelines. No gatherings. We are aware that there are some patrons and the bar operators that close up patrons within their premises so that from outside we don't see what is going on inside. And then they drink there and get drunk. But we are aware that there are such facilities that operate like that. And I would like to appeal to our enforcement team to make sure that we intensify our monitoring systems to make sure that we put those activities under maximum control.
Mr. Nkwapo also touched on the need for the authority to be transparent in land dealings, a matter which led the suspension of the two councils, Lusaka and Kitwe, for a period of 3 months.
I also want to appeal to the residents of Lusaka during this period that we need to ensure that whatever we are doing, especially with the land administration, is done in accordance with the required procedures and the legislation that is in force. And therefore, if there are any things that as residents you feel that they were not done properly, they don't have the necessary legal documents, please come to the council so that those situations are corrected before we have a situation that is unwarranted in terms of encroachments, in terms of illegal developments. I think that will not tolerate.
Sharon Kalimbula, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Meanwhile, the Lusaka City Council, LCC, has noted with sadness the high number of brought-in deaths, BIDs, recorded between the 22nd of July and the 11th of August 2020. LCC Public Relations Manager says the Burial Permit Office recorded 579 BIDs out of 1,396 deaths recorded during the period under review. The number of BIDs recorded represents 41.5% of the total deaths recorded, compared to 371 BIDs out of the 1,427 deaths, representing a 26% recorded increase over the same period in 2019. The council has since risen to the observation that many people are not seeking medication from health facilities but are resorting to self-medication in homes for fear of being tested for COVID-19, contrary to the Ministry of Health guidelines. LCC has since advised people who may be keeping patients at home to consider taking them to health facilities for examination and treatment, especially now in the COVID-19 era.
Lusaka City Council has observed with sadness that the number of BIDs that have been recorded at our Burial Permit Office has increased. In the last 3 weeks, Lusaka City Council has recorded 576 BIDs at our office, which is representing 41.5% of the total number of deaths that stand at 1,650. And so as Lusaka City Council, we are comparing with last year. And last year, the total number of BIDs stood at 26%, which is 371 during the same period under review. And so, according to the experts, our public health department, this has been attributed to people that are shunning health facilities when they are not feeling too well. And the fear is that they don't want to be tested for COVID-19. And so this is leading to a lot of deaths in homes. And as Lusaka City Council, want to take this opportunity to re-echo the messages being propagated by Ministry of Health that people should seek health facility, or they should go to health facilities when they are not feeling well. COVID-19 is a disease like any other disease, and so there shouldn't be stigma whatsoever, and people should not fear to go to health facilities when they are not feeling well. Where they suspect COVID-19 symptoms, the guidelines are that they should call 909 so that health officials can go to their places and attend to them.
Mufulira District Commissioner Mike Manda has expressed sadness at the state of Mukambo Mine in Mufulira District, which is supposed to be run by Changfa Resources, a Chinese group of companies. Mr. Manda, who paid an impromptu visit to Mukambo Mine offices, discovered that all the equipment in the offices had been removed and the infrastructure now vandalized. The disappointed district commissioner has since said that it is saddening that which was supposed to create jobs for the youths in the area turned out to be a white elephant. We have more in this report.
As Mufulira District Commissioner Mike Manda pays an impromptu visit to the Mukambo mine office and the mine site, he discovers that the mine has been abandoned and in a deplorable state. The DC further discovers that all equipment in the offices have been removed and the infrastructure now getting vandalized. In short, no activity was seen at the mine. This was supposed to be the mine created to reduce unemployment levels among the young people in the district. Instead, the site is now a danger to people due to an open shaft which might swallow a person given the privilege. The visibly disappointed commissioner is now forced to appeal to the Ministry of Mines and Mineral Development to act on the matter.
It is very disheartening that as a district commissioner, I can find the mine in this state. When we requested that we have development at the site here at a time when Changfa was given this place, the district received a lot of morale and hope in terms of employment. But unfortunately, it is not so. I'm so devastated that even after coming to see what has remained of the mine, what my eyes have seen is very, very hurting. I want to call upon the Minister of Mines and the ministry, their departments, to invite them to come and see what has become of Changfa mining. We've had issues with Mopani, and His Excellency has been demanding that Mopani goes back to its feet. We do not want to have a situation like we've found Changfa here. We were so happy in the sense that by this time 2 mines would have been serving the district with employment and also contribute to the growth of the district in terms of resources and also employment, but it's not so. The land is quite big. The hope that this would have given to our people in terms of employment would have changed a lot of lives, but it is not so.
Mr. Manda's disappointment has been fueled after he recalls the excitement and hope from the local people. Mukambo Mine of Mufulira District is supposed to be run by Changfa Resources, a Chinese group of companies that is believed to be one of the biggest companies in China. For Camnet Television in Mufulira, Zambia, Namwinga Mwinga.
The Livingstone Magistrate Court has found Livingstone Central Area Member of Parliament Matthews Jerry and 17 former Livingstone City Councillors with a case to answer and placed them on their defence for corruption charges. In a statement issued to Camnet TV by ACC Public Relations Manager Timothy Mono says the MP and his crew were in 2019 arrested and charged with 2 counts of abuse of authority authority of office contrary to Section 21 of the Anti-Corruption Act No. 3 of 2012. The former councillors include Mildford Mambo, Fred Sikazwe, Ziwa Malilo Ziwa, Patrick Makala, Ruben Kankwasha, Stanley Ngoma, Phoenix Liandaisha, and Frank Kalindima, among others. The matter has since been set for the 20th to the 23rd of October 2020 for commencement of their defense, and all the accused persons are currently on police bond. The ruling was delivered by trial magistrate in the matter, Likando Matakala. And in other news, Patriotic Front Secretary General Davis Mwila says the Patriotic Front will not condone any criminal behavior from any of its members, assuring the public that the party will discipline Emmanuel J. Banda, commonly known as JJ. Emmanuel J. Banda is a Patriotic Front Eastern Province youth chairperson who allegedly beat up some police officers on duty, getting away with undisclosed amounts of money in July this year. JJ Banda later disappeared and handed himself over to the police after a manhunt was launched on him by the police. We have more in this report.
15th of July 2020, some Patriotic Front cadres stormed Lusaka Central Police and beat up some unsuspecting officers on duty. According to Police Public Relations Officer Esther Mwata Katongo, the cadres got away with undisclosed amounts of money. Among the cadres was Patriotic Front Eastern Province Youth Chairperson Emmanuel J. Banda, commonly known as JJ. JJ went into hiding until the 19th of August when he turned himself in at Lusaka Central Police, where he was charged with aggravated robbery and released on bond. This did not sit well with some stakeholders such as Governance, Elections, Advocacy, Research Services Gears Initiative Executive Director McDonald Jipenzi, who told Camnet TV the law is being unfairly applied on citizens in the country, looking at how quickly Emmanuel J. Banda was given police bond.
It's very unfortunate the way the police are working and the way the police are applying the law. Under normal circumstances, JJ should not have been even given bail or even bond, police bond, in the sense that he had run away. Usually such facilities are given to people who are cooperative, people who are not a flight risk.
Now, upon his release, he was given a thunderous welcome in Eastern Province after attacking the police. 20th of August 2020, Police Inspector General Kakoma Kanganja released a statement directing Eastern Province Police Commissioner to arrest Banda for staging an unlawful procession against provisions of the Public Order Act without notifying the police. Now, the Patriotic Front Party says it is going to take disciplinary action against Emmanuel J. Banda. According to a statement released to the media, Patriotic Front Secretary General Davis Mwila says those in the Patriotic Front, especially those in leadership positions, must lead by example through exemplary behavior at all times. Constance Mwemba reporting for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
Some Opposition United Party for National Development UPND members led by UPND Kasempa District Keauna Ward Youth Chairman, who also served as District Trustee, Kalenga Christopher, has defected to the ruling Patriotic Front PF. The members announced their defection at a public meeting addressed by former Kasempa Member of Parliament Kavinga Pande. And PF official Martin Mbaya says it's only through working with the government of the day that any place can record meaningful development in the areas of health, education and water and sanitation, among others. We have more in this report.
In the 2016 general elections, the Opposition United Party for National Development UPND swept through all the 22 ward seats, including that of Member of Parliament in Kasempa District of Northwestern Province. However, as time went by, following resignations of councillors, the ruling Patriotic Front PF has started picking up some seats. The party's first ward seat came in 2018 when it backed the Nkenyauna seat and now the Lobofu and the Nyoka seats, bringing the party's tally to 3 in the Kasempa District Council. Arising from these strides, the PF party, through former Kasempa Member of Parliament Kavinga Pande and another PF top official Martin Mbaya, have embarked on a Thanksgiving tour of the district to thank the electorate for their votes.
Wakati kanamba ne mu 2021 mukamwambira wa chairman wa Joro Mikokwa mketupa ndamakyaro baidika Chagwarungu MP wa PF kansala wa PF ne kaso chairman wa PF pakuamba bukomo buye mwino ntandetu ya Kivuko mama kwingira government barongo bami muzima skulu awama muzikutoma mema awama muzimikwa kwa yawama muzipatela vya wama panone warongo bamyo kamwetu mbaine kana tuyenga kuforward mukasharapo vya vura.
On Thursday, the delegation was in Kasempa's Kivuku, Kawama, Kamono, in Kenyauna the marketplace, and in Kenyauna primary school, where the delegation held meetings to thank the people. The messages bordered on the need to continue supporting the PF under President Edgar Lungu for continued development, even as the country draws closer to the 2021 general elections.
Baedika Chagwarungu kebara ya bintu bibura kufikishwane. Pakatu bifikishiwe. Panonane kwa musakushara. Nuka makwambira bambaye donsa ibonse babakishara bakitaika. Mwibembira rwimbo mbabwera mwana warubire bashobe bakwita wera mwana warubire bashobe bakwita.
At the Kenyauna marketplace meeting, some UPND members were led by Musemwa Ngeji, who is UPND district trustee and also worked in the security team defected to the PF.
Bwato uchanje kuyura ne aneba bose mutima branchi aneba bose mutipa wadi twaturete bantu batwere mukaa mu bwato muchanje kuyura abiti bantu bose tubera kutamburuira twatubasunge ka burongo.
The party officials are targeting to finish the entire district but have segmented their tours in phases. Kalan Muchima reporting for Camnet TV News, Kasempa District, Northwestern Province.
National Restoration Party President Steve Nyirenda says the party will engage party founder Elias Chipimo to help solve the party problems. Addressing the media Friday, Mr. Nyirenda says his camp is ready to reconcile and work with the Maboshe camp that were trying to overthrow him last week. And speaking on the sidelines of the briefing, a team calling itself the Anti-Political Violence Association of Zambia has called for peace among a set of political players. Association President Benedict Mulenga says it is important for politicians to solve their wrangles as the country heads towards the general elections next year. We have more in this report.
As the country heads towards 2021 general elections, political violence is expected. Now, the Anti-Political Violence Association of Zambia have called on all political parties, especially the youth, to desist from violence. The association president Benedict Mulenga says the association is concerned about the party wrangles being witnessed in the National Restoration Party, NAREP.
As the Anti-Political Violence Association of Zambia, we are engaging political parties. We are engaging them, we are having workshops, and also we are sensitizing the general public on the dangers of political violence. We have what we are calling peace campaign 2020 to 2021, where we are going around the country to sensitize the general public. And also we are working hand in hand with Zambia Police so that we can engage those political parties who are violent so that they can end political violence.
Ms. Mulenga told Camnet TV she will see to it that peace is restored in the NAREP party. And NAREP party president Stephen Nyirenda says he is ready to sit with the team of Maboshi and others to dialogue.
So therefore, whatever happened in NAREP, we are ready to to sum it together and forge ahead. It's not a problem. People have got different views, and those different views must be encouraged by sitting together, talking to each other, solving them, and going forward. I can't say much, and I will not say a lot around this because this thing is in court. And then, parallel to that, we are pursuing mediation with our founding father, His Elias Pumo, to make sure that we are together, all of us. We sum this, we bring everything to the table, what are the problems, and we seal it, we go forward and win these elections 2021.
Okay. Perhaps maybe just a quick reaction on Mr. Charles Maboshe and his team. How is the relationship right now?
We've got, for me, we're always going to have a good relationship. Different in thinking should not divide us.
Constance Mwemba reporting for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
And still to come in the news, Zambia's poor leadership style saddens JCT ARA. Senior Chief Kalinda Walo awaits opening of new health facility. For now, we take a break.
I have used Oracle Pure Glycerin for 2 years now. It has really worked for me. It has cleared all the black spots on my face. It has restored my skin beauty. It also smoothens the skin. Try Oracle Pure Glycerin for perfect skin. If it's not Oracle Glycerin, then it's not pure glycerin.
Stay home, stay safe. Times have changed. With the advent of the coronavirus, Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company would like to advise its esteemed customers to avoid visiting crowded places. You don't have to move to pay your water bill. You can do it in the convenience of your home. You can pay your water bills through Zanaco Zapit, Stanbic Bank, Standard Chartered Bank, and FNB. You can also use Airtel, MTN, and Zamtel Kwacha mobile money transfer services. For any inquiries to report a fault, please contact our customer service on +260 211 251 571, +260 975 618 618, and toll-free line 5957, Zamtel only. You can also simply email customerservice@lwsc.com. This public announcement is brought to you by the Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company. Water is life. Sanitation is health.
Hello, Camnet TV viewers. I'm your pastor, Pastor Moses Chuluba. On the 24th of August 2020, I'll be hosting the UPND President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, on national matters at 2030. Please make a date with me. Contributions will be by Skype and Zoom. You can also text. We hope to see you there. God richly bless you. May God bless Zambia.
You're watching Camnet World News on Camnet TV, not just another channel. We continue with the news. The Jesuit Center for Theological Reflection, JCT ARA, has observed that the country's agriculture sector has been hampered due to the lack of coherent policies, misplaced priorities, and inadequate funding of the sector. JCT ARA Programs Manager Faith and Justice Innocent Dashe has noted that the past few years, the budget allocation of funds in the agriculture sector has been declining, thereby negatively affecting the industry and the nation at large. Innocent Ndasha says the policies and their implementation has since been neglected. Rather, key agriculture drivers, specifically infrastructure development such as feeder roads, storage facilities, information, and other key supporting drivers. We have more in this report.
Although agriculture sector is one of the largest sectors in Zambia's economy, with enormous potential for growth, the sector has failed to sustainably excel since independence, largely due to lack of coherent policies, policy inconsistencies, misplaced priorities, and inadequate implementation of those policies. As the Jesuit Center for Theological Reflection, JCT-ARA, notes that contrary to the Maputo Protocol requirement, which calls for at least 10% of the national budget to be allocated to the agriculture sector since the signing of the protocol in 2013, less than 10% of the national budget has been allocated to REIT.
Now we see that possibly on the part of government, possibly we haven't taken advantage and we haven't realized that potential of the agriculture sector. I mean, a lot of talk has been going on around the potential in the agriculture sector, but we've seen over the years that not much seriousness has actually been attached to the sector. It wouldn't be like in the immediate, but possibly the problem has been there over time. I mean, if you follow through, just from the time that we privatized the sector in 1992. I think government hasn't been heavily involved, and that has tended to adversely affect the sector.
JCT-ARA Programs Manager Faith and Justice Innocent Ndashe says Zambia's agriculture sector has been hampered by lack of concentration to key drivers of its development. He explains that government should develop feeder roads, improve on communication, educate farmers, build sufficient and effective storage facilities to reduce on losses, limit spending on maize to ensure balanced growth and crop diversification.
Relying heavily, for example, on importing fertilizer, I think it has made import or production of production in the agriculture sector to be actually high, a move that has actually impacted then the final products that farmers would produce, which again then is passed on to consumers. So there's a way in which I think if we increase productivity, you make things cheaper in the sector. I think it will help the country.
Reporting for Camnet Television in Lusaka, Zambia, Namwinga Mwinga.
Meanwhile, the Jesuit Center for Theological Reflection, JCT-ARA Programs Manager Faith and Justice Innocent Ndashe says he is saddened by the leadership style that is currently being witnessed in the country. Mr. Ndashe says he has observed that leaders that are supposed to be servants and stewards of the people while accounting for public resources and representing the returns of the investments are serving and enjoying themselves at the expense of the poor Zambians. In regard to the defense sector, that was one of the highly allocated for in the 2020 national budget. Mr. Ndashe says it is clear that government is more concerned with silencing people than identifying and solving their problems, which is their cry. He further urged church leaders to guide the leaders of the nation as they make decisions, saying the leadership style that is inspired by God and guided by His word is the virtuous way to go.
Those that are entrusted with the public office do not have the concern, do not have the heart of the ordinary people, the people that have maybe sacrificed their lives to provide service to the nation. So that's one indicator. Then what you'd also see at the moment, I mean, Zambia largely has been a stable country. I mean, we haven't experienced maybe civil war and a few other maybe civil strides or thrives. We see that when it comes to allocating to the national budget, we see that possibly defense. Actually, when you look maybe in the last 3 years, allocation to the Ministry of to Defense and public security has actually been on the increase. Well, when you look through the maybe allocations to social protection, it has actually been reducing. Then that raises to say a question to say, are those that then governing us, do they have the interest of the poor, do not have the interest of the country at heart? The answer is no. So possibly this is where, when we are talking about if we need to see Zambia at a level of maybe attaining meaningful development that will touch I think the lives of the ordinary people, possibly we need servant leaders who take themselves as servant of the people, not actually masters of the people.
Senior Chief Kalinda Walo of the Nsenga people in Eastern Province says he is eager to see the newly constructed Kalinda Walo General Hospital in Petauke district become operational. The senior chief says once opened, the facility will handle complicated medical cases and reduce referrals to Chipata General St. Francis Hospital or the University Teaching Hospital UTH in Lusaka, thereby lessening the burden on the people of Eastern Province. He said this when Health Professions Council of Zambia, HPCZ Registrar and Chief Executive Officer Mr. Walia paid a courtesy call on him in Petauke. Mr. Walia has noted the contribution that Kalinda Walo General Hospital will provide in the provision of quality health care services. We have more in this report.
Kalinda Walo General Hospital in Petauke District, Eastern Province, the newly constructed state-of-the-art facility, is however not yet operational. Senior Chief Kalinda Walo of the Nsenga people remains delighted with this health facility named after his establishment.
Hospital, not for the chiefdom, not for Kalinda Walo, as it is named after my institution. It is hospital for the whole entire Eastern Province. So we are indeed very grateful that you accepted that hospital should be on the ministry of this age.
Health Professions Council of Zambia HPCZ paid a courtesy call on Senior Chief Kalinda Walo, who looks forward to the time the General Hospital will be opened to provide quality healthcare services to the people of Eastern Province.
Big hospital in Eastern Province, whereby it is the main referral hospital. If with the modern equipments that are being installed there, I think indeed they will lessen the burden of our people. Instead of them being referred to Lake Manawasa, they will be referred to Kalinda Walo General Hospital.
HPCZ Registrar and Chief Executive Officer Wembia Bwalia says the Council's prime concern is to ensure public protection by promoting provision of quality healthcare services.
Health Professions Council of Zambia chatusekesha pamulandu wakutira ifwe vatuvekera kuti tulemona kuti abantu bali abali kuzipatala bali bamuna bwino bwino na kyonse tuli muzipatala natukwanina pakutifira ngyo omuntu kuti amukusushenga kyakuti nalwala ekyo kyatusekesha kuti ubuteko nawo usenda lutampulo olukalamba nokubika ekipatala ekimupepe.
The Health Professions Council of Zambia has been in Eastern Province assessing the state of health facilities and provision of healthcare services. Reporting for Camnet Television in Petauke, Zambia, Namwinga Mwinga.
Minister of Health Dr. Chitalu Chilufya has expressed concern with the current revelations that COVID-19 has spread to rural areas, otherwise known as remote areas in the country. Dr. Chilufya states that among the rural areas affected include Luano district, which has no capacity to handle COVID-19 cases. The minister has since called on Zambians in the rural areas to take keen interest in gaining knowledge about COVID-19 to help combat the virus. We have more in this report.
As government continues to fight the coronavirus pandemic, the virus continues to rapidly spread. Now, COVID-19 has spread to the rural parts of the country. The Ministry of Health has revealed during a COVID-19 update held in Lusaka. Health Minister Dr. Chitalu Chilufya has revealed COVID-19 cases are now being detected in rural parts such as Luano with no proper facilities to handle COVID-19. The minister says it is important that Zambians in the rural areas know the pandemic is deadly and must put keen interest in following public health guidelines.
Also continue to rise. We've observed a steady increase of COVID-19 in remote districts, and these facilities, these remote districts are far away from facilities that provide specialized services needed for the severe cases of COVID-19. Government is investing in equipment and human capital to deliver these health services of COVID-19 closer to the people and an effective referral system for these. We now have cases recorded in Ruano Valley, for instance, in Bufanyama, and many other remote parts of the country. We also note that the older population in these rural parts are more, therefore we have a message that our people in these remote parts need to adhere even more strictly to the public health measures that have been directed. We need to strengthen our efforts at all levels to ensure that we suppress the epidemic at community level. And as government, we will work with the community to ensure that we address the epidemic through the 8 pillars that we've been speaking about. We also continue to invest in sufficient equipment, medication and other supplies to manage the most critical ill to reduce deaths. The response requires collective effort. As government and partners continue to invest in this response, we expect the community to upscale their compliance to the measures that have been announced.
Zambia in the last 24 hours has recorded 225 new cases of COVID-19 out of 1,486 tests, with 3 deaths, 1 being a BID and 2 are facility deaths, with 197 recoveries, bringing the cumulative number of cases to 10,627. How Zambians in the rural parts will survive COVID-19, only God knows. Constance Mwemba reporting for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
Government has started the distribution of the emergency social cash transfer to the vulnerable. The cash transfer is aimed at cushioning the shocks of COVID-19 to the vulnerable, is being done in conjunction with the United Nations for a period of 6 months for both those that are already on the catchment area and new ones. An amount of 400 kwacha is being given to new beneficiaries and 800 kwacha to the old beneficiaries. In Lusaka's Kaunda Square area, the program is being done at Munali Ward 31 Councillor's office. This is contrary to the assertions by members of the public who could not understand the social cash transfer program but accused government of vote buying. As of today, beneficiaries of the fund were still receiving the money. Still to come is international and sports news. Do stay with us.
To create a positive difference in people's lives, one must first understand the way people live. At Savenda, we're here for our community, our partners, and our future, as a nation and as a continent.
Back in 1997, we decided we were going to create this family journey into a bigger opportunity, and created a business called Savenda, which meant Save Nations to Develop Africa.
It's always important to give back to the people. The government cannot do everything, but as business entities, we'll be able to reach a lot of people.
From our humble beginnings in the telecoms and mining sectors to our work in energy and development projects, we know how important it is to be true to our roots.
Our services have to be diversified so that we don't depend on one income stream. Back in the village, I was growing up hunting and doing everything that a village boy would like to do. When you're hunting, you don't depend on one trap, for example. You have to have many traps. So those survival skills brought into the business created opportunities that we learned from a young age that you can't survive with just one product. Savenda Group involves Savenda Management, which is a consulting, Savenda Express, which is a corporate branding company, Savenda Electric, which is a manufacturer of energy-saving bulbs, Savenda General Insurance, which is a general insurance company, Savenda Fresh Produce, Cyber Africa, which is a center for just dealing with cyber security.
Now, Savenda is combining local knowledge with international expertise. It's time to be a part of Zambia's rising success and Africa's exciting future.
We are a gateway into Africa, and now we are praying with global companies who are coming to Zambia for opportunities and to look for companies that are homegrown, and we are proud to be one of those.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with the news. In international news, former senior White House strategist Steve Bannon has pleaded not guilty to charges of defrauding donors and money laundering. It relates to an online campaign that raised 25 million United States dollars, supposedly to go towards President Donald Trump's U.S.-Mexico border war. Bannon has been released on bail set at 5 million United States dollars, but is barred from leaving the country. Al Jazeera's Gabriel reports from New York, U.S. And in other news, fires are once again gaining rage in the Amazon region, and experts say that the damage could be even worse than last year's devastation. This is despite government's pledges to avoid a repeat of the 2019 tragedy. Al Jazeera has more on these stories.
Steve Bannon emerged from a New York federal court on Thursday evening defiant, despite facing the prospect of some serious prison time.
This entire fiasco to stop people who want to build the wall.
Earlier, the former chief strategist to Donald Trump was arrested while on a private yacht off the coast of Connecticut. He's charged with fraud over his role in a non-profit organization called We Build the Wall, a crowdfunding campaign that raised $25 million from the public towards building President Trump's much-touted wall along America's border with Mexico. Bannon, along with 3 others, is accused of siphoning off donations for his own use, in Bannon's case to the tune of more than $1 million. Wearing a face mask, Bannon appeared via video link and pleaded not guilty to the charges. His bail was set for $5 million. Bannon joins a long list of key Trump figures who've fallen foul of the law: Roger Stone, Paul Manafort, and Michael Flynn, just some of those who've been convicted in U.S. courts. Not for the first time, the president was faced with awkward questions about a former ally.
I think it's a very sad thing for Mr. Bannon. I think it's surprising. I thought that was a project that was being done for showboating reasons. I don't know that he was in charge. I didn't know any of the other people either. But it's sad.
This case could prove to be a dramatic fall from grace for not only a man responsible for shaping recent events in U.S. politics, but also a key figure in shaping far-right movements in many countries throughout the world. Bannon has forged links with European anti-immigrant party leaders like France's Marine Le Pen and the UK's Nigel Farage, who he introduced to Donald Trump. And he was an informal advisor to Brazil's right-wing President Jair Bolsonaro, among many others. With his arrest, Bannon's days of fundraising for Donald Trump's border wall appear to be over. Gabriel Zondo, Al Jazeera, New York.
It's only the start of fire season in the Amazon, but it's already the worst in a decade. Brazil's National Institute for Space Research is reporting a total of 6,300 blazes in July, 28% more than for the same period in 2019. Environment Minister Ricardo Salles says measures are being taken to prevent last year's tragedy from repeating itself.
We are sending an additional 3,000 firefighters and more aircrafts to protect the forests and prevent their destruction.
In July, the government banned fires for 120 days in the Amazon and Pantanal regions. Farmers have been forbidden from burning vegetation to clear their land during the dry season. But that hasn't stopped them. It took one farmer in the northern state of Pará half an hour to clear his land. By the time satellites and local authorities spotted the fire, it was too late.
We perform a satellite analysis, which gives us information about where these infractions are taking place. And based on that, we search the system and also identify who owns these areas.
While President Jair Bolsonaro has been criticized for downplaying the fires, the government is on a public relations campaign to prevent a repeat of last year's global backlash, especially after investors threaten to divest if Brazil fails to curb environmental destruction.
Last year, Bolsonaro falsely accused actor and environmentalist Leonardo DiCaprio
of funding fires in the Amazon rainforest. This year, Brazil's Vice President Hamilton Mourão invited the Hollywood actor for an 8-hour march in the jungle so he could see for himself how difficult it is to protect such a huge area. Mourão has deployed thousands of military to protect the rainforest, but the local Kayapó indigenous tribe, already fearful of COVID-19, say they feel far from safe, believing the fires as much as a threat as the disease. Monica Yanakiev, Al Jazeera, Rio de Janeiro.
We now have a look at sports news. The Football Association of Zambia, FAZ, has started its Under-15 Talent Assessment Program aimed at cultivating talent at grassroots level. The program has started with 42 players from Lusaka only before moving to other provinces. FAZ technical advisor Lyson Zulu and the Zambia national team coach Mitchell was at hand to start the project.
Priority number 1 in this program is talent identification. Priority number 2 is talent development, and priority number 3 is talent management. The duration of these assessments, we've started with the Lusaka players who have identified from the leagues that we've been running. We have a total of 42 players who are being assessed right now, and then we'll move by bringing the players from the Copper Belt, Central, Southern and Eastern Province will be coming for trials next week. The idea is to form a team that is going to comprise the best possible players in that age group for the under-15s.
Journey of 1,000 miles is starting with the first step. We have started an important road to put practically into action that so-called 10 years plan. I need to express appreciation to the coaches that have been on wonderful support in regards to attending, assisting, translating, effectively coaching, and with these activities and actions we have practically done the practical football scan on the talent that we are having in under 15 players.
That sports item brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, a look at the headlines once again. Livingstone Central MP Matthews Jerry placed on defense for corruption charges. Lusaka City Council saddened by 576 BIDs recorded in 3 weeks. Government urged to increase budgetary allocation towards the agriculture sector. In international news, Steve Bannon, former Trump advisor, arrested for fraud. And in sports news, FAZ begins under-15 talent search. We now look at the Camnet verse of the day, which is coming from the book of Romans 1, verse 9, and it reads, "For God is my witness, whom I serve with my spirit in the gospel of his Son, that without ceasing I make mention of you always in my prayers." This has been Camnet News on Camnet TV, not just another channel, and I have been your anchor, Liseli Kanyanga Mubanga. God bless.